Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another discussion video. So, I want to talk about skin tones today. With no color wheel or sliders for them in The Sims 4, we lost a lot of customization to represent us in the game compared to what The Sims 3 was. A couple of years ago, in a free update, we did get more skin tones, but they did not turn out well. Many of them were ashy and had weird red blotches, and they actually still do. Because after we complained, they put out a fix, but it didn't completely fix everything. The ashiness is still there, and the red blotches are just less obvious than they were. For good reason, this has angered many people. It's 2020, and still nothing has changed. I know video game production can be really complicated behind the scenes, and things can often take a lot longer than we want them to, but this is pretty ridiculous. I know I'm far from the first person to suggest this idea, but I think it'd be great if EA could collaborate with Mira to bring her skin tones into the game. In case you did not know, Mira has made a custom melanin skin tone pack that's gotten quite popular within the community, so she comes to my mind first as someone who'd do well helping EA out. A lot of people either can't or don't want to use custom content, and I hate the argument that just because mods or custom content exists for something that we want, that it's all fine. It's amazing that we have such a talented community that adds more content to the game, but we should not have to do EA's work for them to cover such basic things. In this case, we're talking about proper representation for people in a life simulator. Lately, I've been thinking about how in the new Sims Sparked reality TV show, as a reward for winning one of the challenges, Simproved, Plumbella, and the English Simmer were granted the opportunity to help create the Greenberg family, as well as their home for eco-lifestyle. My angle here is that I hope this collaboration with Sparked can open the door to get more player creations put into the game officially. At first I was just thinking about builds, as I find many of the Maxis ones to be missing things or just plain uninteresting, and I think Simproved did an amazing job with the Greenberg's house, especially with that crane and considering all the restrictions that she was still under while building it. But the other day I realized, what if EA could get Mira's help on the game's skin tones and fix the existing ones too? Mira happens to be another Spark contestant, but I'm not saying Mira should have to be on Spark to make this possible. But maybe it does increase the chances of this happening. If some kind of collab were to happen between the two though, I imagine EA would want to change it up at least a little rather than just straight up porting Mira's melanin skin tones into the game. Luddy Simmer came up with this concept where the slider would basically be brought back. Mira could also help oversee something like that to make sure it's realistic enough. Maybe she could even help out with The Sims 5 or whatever the next mainline Sims game ends up being called, because that would be a great chance to have accurate skin tones from launch instead of waiting over half a decade. Even if Sims 5 brought back the color wheel and sliders, I imagine there'd still be options for pre-made swatches to make things easier for players intimidated by having so many options. So there still needs to be good options for those pre-made swatches too. No matter how difficult it would be to logistically do with all the legal hoops and such, I think EA has a lot to gain by working alongside one of its well-known players like Mira to make The Sims 4 represent us better. It'd be a big deal, not just for The Sims, but for the gaming industry as a whole. I have brown skin myself, and in many video games where you can make your own character, I find very rarely is there a skin tone that accurately represents me. Usually I have to choose something that's a bit lighter than what I have, or something much darker. The Sims 4 is a rare exception where there are decent skin tones that represent me personally, but I'd like all Simmers to feel the same way. Sadly, after what happened with the update 2 years ago, I do not trust EA to get it right on their own, so collaborating with someone outside EA who can represent people of color correctly is my last hope that they can do right by us in terms of representing people of color. In the past, they collaborated with GLAAD and the It Gets Better project to give us better representation for LGBTQ+ people, And they even quickly added a few extra pride flags they missed when Simmers pointed that out. So we already have precedent for working with other companies to get human representation done right. Whether it's Mira or someone else, it's gotta be someone who can do this justice. Mira did reply to me saying she is open to doing this as long as she is paid properly in the context of being a contractor working with EA. So the ball is in EA's court now, and I hope they come through. The Sims 4 is not done yet, and the Sim Gurus have repeatedly insisted that it's sticking around for a good while longer. If that's truly the case, then it's not okay for us to still be stuck with the same skin tones. The game needs a refresh.